Guys, the full database is already out, and yes, we are still a couple weeks away from FC26. In fact, it's more than 2 weeks away. The database is already out, and with that, that means the creation of starter teams already, and today we're going to talk about the things that you should not do at the start of FC26. If it's true the power curve is going to slow down some this year, we should be seeing a return to some of the market trends back in like FIFA 23, hopefully, where there's just a healthier market in general, and also coins matter more again. The market's not chalked DOA from day one, basically, where it didn't matter what you were doing with coins. And if coins mean more, we should still see more paid evolutions also, which means you're going to need to be even more stingy because you want to do paid evos, because evos are the most fun part of the game, basically. So a lot to dive into. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description down below. They are the cheapest and the safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for an 8% discount. And thank you guys for watching. Of course, subscribe if you are new from FC26 content all year, streaming, by the way, going full bore into that on YouTube and Twitch. So a big year hopefully have for the channel if you want to see for some reason more of me. But okay, database right now. Unfortunately, as I'm recording this video, the website is down. So hopefully by the time you see this video, the database is not down. So you can just go through and look through it. But Radar FC on Twitter has the link. It is radarfc.com right here if you want to just type that in. You can now see base playstyles on cards, which is a big thing you couldn't see prior to this. We had kind of a FUT scoreboard database, but it wasn't very in-depth yet. Did not show any base playstyles, and this right now has got, you know, server down, bad gateway, whatever. So we can't really look at that too much right now. I was going to go through and look at just some Premier League players, but for right now, we're going to have to go off of screenshots that we've got and talk about things from there and go look at older market trends as we go along. But okay, the very first thing, you already might know what I'm going to say here. If you've been around for a while, you definitely know. Premier League starter teams, not happening, okay? Can happen out there. I don't want to see them. I absolutely positively do not want to see a Premier League starter team if you care about your coins. This team right here, you do not make. I know it's a hybrid Bundesliga Prem combo. If Ekatike, Doku, Udogi, and Nkapie are in your starter squad, which Gravenberg's going to be more expensive probably than a starter squad player, that is not good, okay? Doku is an 80 rated card, 91 pace, only 71 shooting, 72 passing. Sure, he's got pace, okay? He's going to definitely have pace for you, and that's important, but this card's going to be so overinflated on day one. Same with Ekatike, right? Great starter striker, of course, going to be very good. Openda's at Juventus, by the way. Had to throw that in there. Ekatike is going to be a good card right away, but there's going to be cards that do 95% or possibly 110% of what he does for a fraction of the price because he's Liverpool, French, and everyone's just having an orgasm over him. Same with Destiny Udogi and Nkapie now. Great starter cards. You want to avoid these guys. Frimpong, of course, too, right? Frimpong is going to be very expensive. Even though he's got only 72 defending and 63 physical, people will still want to use him. Here's two more right here. Perfect PL left back options. You got Anthony Robinson and Kirkesh. Now, the reason you don't do this is because it's the most popular league in the game, and it's just something you want to stay away from. Here's FC24. So back to FC24, kind of power curve, maybe FIFA 23 power curve. Looking at last year's is kind of pointless because it just went so fast. It's like, it didn't even matter really. But 78 rated Van de Ven, first year in the Prem, right? 85 pace starter center back. Looking at his price here on crossplay, they crash within like the very first week. Under 84-ish starter Prem cards are just death because you cannot make coins with them. They will only drop whenever you buy them. See the graphs right here. First weekend, you managed to get enough coins to buy Van de Ven. He was 18K back in 2023. It took only, what, 2 days, right? From Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The full game comes out. That next weekend, he's 9,000 coins. You lost 10K, 50% gone. And these are times where 10K might actually mean a lot to you. And keep in mind, this is one example of a 19K player that's 78 rated. He was 19K. Gold Darwin Nunez, right? Came to Liverpool this season. Only 76 dribbling. He can't be that. Like, who wants that card? That shouldn't be too bad of a starter card to buy, right? Oh, Jesus. 28K, 29K the very first weekend, and then that next week goes along, down every single day, like 2 or 3K every single day. On the next weekend, release weekend, he's half price, and then once again, down every single day after that. It's about 84 rated and below, you just stay away from. The cards you actually are okay to buy, as soon as you possibly could, are the bigger names, right? Like Mo Salah, right? Go look at his graph we got here. You want to save up to buy the bigger name. You want to keep that starter squad, keep those guys. If we go look at Mo Salah's price down here, the reason I'm showing you his specifically is because he was actually in Team of the Week 1 in FC24. This little spike right here, this card being like 900k or whatever, like you can ignore that because nobody had him yet. This is like the early release guys who somehow ended up with the card. Like content creators had this card, but nobody else did. So we're even minusing a full week basically of this gold card being in packs just to help make this point. Look at when Mo Salah's price actually kind of peaks here. It peaks in the end of October, 293, 22nd of October there. Now PC more like 311k, but let's just actually show you the cross platform one here. Like 290 he peaked at. But see all this room you have to buy him for this first like couple of weeks here? Actually was down at 190 on the 8th of October. Like there's room for these guys to grow. Now yes, obviously Salah's 200k and Ekatike is going to be like 20k. So huge differences there, but you want to avoid the middle cards. You don't want to be in the business of the Ekatikes and the Adiemis and the Nkapies. You want to go from the lower guys in that who are like 3k to the guys who are like 100k who are high rated, right? You want to avoid the middlemen. That's how you lose all your coins. And this does also apply to some of the other leagues. Like La Liga is pretty tough. I'd say Bundesliga's third. I think Serie A is usually one of the cheaper-ish ones, but all the main leagues, there's going to be cards in there that are basically sleeper agents here to fuck your club up and take your coins away. Kolo Muani, another one. He transferred to Tottenham. This card's going to be what he looks like. He's going to be a cheap beast, quote-unquote cheap beast, but not cheap beast, so he'll kill your coin balance on day one. But cards that you are going to want to do here are going to be the cards nobody wants, okay? But not nobody, because we want them. We want these cards here. The women's cards, honestly, are the best way to do this. But there are other leagues that maybe you can make a starter squad out of, like a Liga Portugal team. If a couple Evos are out, you put some Portuguese league players in, you put a couple decent ones around them. It's a great foundation. You want some of the cards here that nobody else wants, okay? No one really cares about the women's cards, but that's why we come in. And honestly, Arsenal, there's not really actually that many from like the 84, 85 range that I would really want in the team. So let's actually go look at Chelsea's team here. I think that was on this graphic as well. Yeah, like Myra Ramirez down here, 83 rated, 90 pace, 84 shot, 86 dribbling, 87 physical. That's an insane card. Now, she might be a little bit more expensive than your average striker, but she is not going to be the same level as a Chelsea player who is the same exact rating on the Chelsea men's team. She's going to be nowhere near that price. For example, Katarina Macario, decent starter cam right there. You've got up here Cuthbert, CDM, Ping Pass Plus, going to be pretty nice. And yeah, midfielders that are women's cards maybe aren't going to be the best in terms of the strength. So yes, there are cons to some women's cards, but most of the time they're not going to be that much different than the men's cards. Steffi Baltimore here, right? Would you rather have Baltimore or Doku? Doku has rapid plus and I think one higher dribbling. But Baltimore also has way higher passing, probably better base play styles. I can't look because the database is down. But when you go and look through the database, you can see these things. This Baltimore card is going to be cheaper than Doku. Also 85 rated. Then you can make the next step up to a card like Wrighton. She'll be expensive. People know Wrighton now. She's actually got a big upgrade. But there's going to be 86, 87, 88, 89 women's cards. Like right here, Harder has 4-4, striker, right mid cam, technical plus, 88 dribbling. This card's going to be way cheaper than you think. 86 rated. The pack weight's going to be better on her. Just a way better purchase than some 86 rated Prem or La Liga cam that looks pretty good, but is 35k and halves in price when you check his price next. You don't want to deal with those guys. The next thing you absolutely do not want to do is waste any opportunity to get tradable packs, because with those tradable packs, there's a ton of cards out there that are like the Timo Werners of this game. I think it was Werner who was like a really good starter striker. Because these guys go down so quickly, these are the cards that if you end up trying to fight for some tradable packs at the start of the game and you pack some Werners, you pack some Kolo Muanis, you pack some, well, I mean, Werner's like 77 rated now, so not Werners. You pack some of these starter guys, you sell them immediately. Anybody less than like 85 rated that you pack on day one, I don't care if they might rise another 1,000 coins for next weekend league, something like that. You take those coins now. You take those coins and then go and buy some women's cards. One of the biggest questions off rip is like, hey, do I wait to sell them, or like should I sell them on like Saturday, or do I sell them now? I packed, let's say, Lauren James, or packed Jeremy Frimpong on day one. Do I sell them now, or do I wait like 48 hours, make a couple thousand coins? I don't care. You sell them now. You get those coins and you get out. The market's very volatile pile for the first like couple of days to 4 days of the game coming out. I pack Doku. Do I wait? No, you don't wait for Doku, Ekatike, and Kapiya. You don't wait for these guys. The cards you could wait for are cards like icons, but the problem is you're not going to pack those cards, so don't really worry about it. The icons and the really high-end stuff, those can rise over time, like Mo Salah we talked about, but odds are probably you're not going to get one of those guys. But right here, starter La Liga / Serie A team. This team is going to be a little bit better for your coin value, but not that much better. A3 Inaki Williams, A3 Di Lorenzo, 81 Tomori. Stay away from 81 Tomori. A3 Balde, 80 Marcus Rashford. This is still like stay awaysville for me. I don't want to be in on these guys. I'm going for the women's cards. I'm going for the lower leagues. And next thing you should not do here is related to gameplay stuff. So first of all, you're going to see things right now about FC26 starter tactics on Twitter. The game is not out for 2.5 weeks. There's no starter tactics yet. I get what he's trying to say here, like it'll keep your shape. It's a good base to kind of start with something, but I'm bringing all this up because what you should not do is just stick to what you were doing in the previous game on literally the very first day to give yourself an advantage over everybody else who's just kind of playing like they did FC25. Try and play FC26 day one. I know it sounds dumb, but try and adapt to everything day one. It's a brand new game. Learn it. If there's a crazy OP tactic people are talking about, try it out. Learn the finishing. There's low-driven shots next year, right? Learn all of this stuff on as soon as you can. You will give yourself a gigantic advantage. People, it takes like months to get like used to the game, kind of. People will learn some things like, oh, there's this new shot that's good, and then they kind of end there. Like, no, you need to learn the whole game, and don't play FC25 at the start of FC26, if that makes any sense. And keep in mind, guys, these tips are even more important. The non-gameplay tips, like the content tips, are even more important because we have so many different uses now for so many different cards that say people are going into the gauntlet, right, where they have to use a different team every single time. They're going to buy more Prem cards. People are going to end up just spending so many coins on these starter beasts. There's some poor sucker out there who's going to make a starter Prem team, Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A team, and buy all 4 of them individually for the gauntlet. They're going to get nuked when the market dies, okay? They're going to get literally nuked. And repeatable Evos, if they're out right away, helps even more because that way, if you want to start off with a Portuguese league team, a Turkish league team, something like this, women's leagues, obviously, that helps you a lot with chemistry. We also get an icon on day one if you pre-ordered the game. So there's ways to help with chem right now that are going to be good and will help stay away so much from these starter cards. Now, you might pack, say, a day one starter Prem card that ends up being good. You can buy 1 or 2 of those guys. You just don't want to buy 6 of them for each of your squads, right? That's when it gets bad. But here's the dates, by the way, of the calendar for next year's game. I tweeted this out, or sorry, I made a YouTube post about most of this. But if you guys didn't see that, you have the ratings release on Monday, which we've already seen the ratings. So that's been gone for a couple of years now. But the database on the 12th, which you already do have, but I think, let's see, is it still down here? Refresh the page. I think it is unfortunately still down. The biggest things are Team of the Week 1 and Web App is this Wednesday, Companion App Thursday, and I think the EA Play Pro people get the game pretty early on Thursday. It's not like Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern time or 11 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's actually like towards content time Thursday. If you have EA Play Pro, people get the game. Could be wrong about that, but I did see that somewhere. And the first set of rewards is the squad battles reward. So people like grind out quickly squad battles and then try and get to the top ends of elite or gold to get the rewards here. And then we go into our first rivals rewards. And I think our first weekend league is not until the 4th, I think it's the 4th of October. I don't think it's the first weekend of standard edition. I believe it's not. And man, wouldn't Ones to Watch this summer have hit like absolute crack? Is that nostalgia? Because Ones to Watch was not a great promo, but part of that was because EA would refuse to give players who had Ones to Watch cards informs. They wouldn't do it. If they actually did that, it would be more of a fun promo, but it would have hit like crack this summer, I'll tell you that much, and Isaac being one of them, and also the Prem Player of the Month, by the way. Now that the games are over, the favorites you could argue are going to be Joao Pedro and Grealish. They both had 4 goals and assists combined. Grealish with 4 assists. These guys both have like new transfer tax, so I don't know who's going to win it here. But last year it was Erling Haaland on month 1. It was like one of the first SBCs released, basically, so I would assume we're going to see a Grealish or Joao Pedro Player of the Month. Somehow Ekatike could grab it somehow, or Semenyo or Calafiore, he's a defender, but I guess one of these two is going to be like one of the first SBCs of next year. And unfortunately, oftentimes they're not that good. I think Lucas Moura was the last time we had like a really good first Prem Player of the Month card, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago, so it's been a while, unless there's one I'm not thinking of, but they usually make them pretty overpriced. And we could even make a part 2 to this video when I like think about, I don't know, something I'm not remembering right now, because navigating through the start of the game can help a lot when you're not losing coins constantly. constantly. So if you're kind of always making coins from the start, you'll be ahead of some people. I wouldn't say some, I'd say almost everybody. You'd be ahead of almost everybody who's not really privy and savvy to the market. Let's read some of your comments now. We got GTB. I have not used a women in FC25 and I'm not using one in 26. I don't care how OP they are. Nothing but fodder in my use case scenario. And I want to remind you in this video, guys, the most important thing always in FIFA is fun. So if you don't have fun playing with women or whatever, you don't know them, then don't play with them, right? Your experience is more important than any coin tips, obviously. But if you have fun saving your coins and, you know, growing your coin balance, and this is your way to do that, is by using cards that are not the popular ones, right? That's kind of where you save all your money. But if you're a player who's here to kind of just have fun, you're here for a good time, not a long time, then go for it. Go buy your Dokus, right? But I want to reiterate that, yeah, your experience and fun is more important than anything else. And Jamie says, you going live at launch? You already know that the launch day starts our streaming. Like, we're going to be streaming hella from launch day. That's when this begins. And we got Cliche J, who I'm assuming was playing the beta, saying Precision Header is good. I can confirm. And also Game Changer is very good. The passes come out contextually and the passes are fast and accurate. It also combines with other pass types. So I want to believe that. I think this might be partly like because it's new and it's not horrible that we think it's really good. I think the only way Game Changer for it to be like decent is it has to be very contextual, and if your body's contorted in certain ways, then it'll like make perfect passes. Because if that is the case, it's kind of like a tiki-taka, and that's not bad at all. In fact, that's gonna be really good. But I worry that it's not gonna be as contextual as we think. But I've not played the game, and I think you have, so I can't really say much sitting here. But I say it would be fun for Precision Header to be good, but at the same time, like, this is the problem with crossing in a FIFA video game, is that, yeah, it's not that much skill, obviously, but at the same time, it's very fun to score a header. Like, it's undeniably fun to score a header with a 6'5" guy who you whip it in with a whip pass plus Basha to somebody in the box who scores a header. Like, that's obviously fun. It's just not very counterable. So how does EA find that balance there? It's always been a hard thing for them. That's why Aerial Plus was so good for so long, because they wanted it to be like useful, but then if it's really good, it's like the best way to attack, and then do they want that? Not really. It's hard to balance. I understand that. So we'll see what they do with it this year. If it ends up being the same thing where headers now are going to be, you know, viable, then again, you have the problem of now there's Aerial Fortress with defenders and a women's card who's 5'8" who has precision header. Does that even do anything at all? Because they don't have any aerial play style. I guess no, right? I would guess that headers are not going to be very good this year, despite headers maybe being accurate. You're just not going to win them very often, is my guess. But like I said, I've not played the game. Guys, thank you for being here and watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I love you all. Peace.